Hmm. Good morning. How y'all doing out there? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host, Takia Ross. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good this morning. How you feeling this morning?
You know, I'm rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the Lord's work. Okay, what you tired, we just start saying random stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed and highly favored,
Listen,
you
that's all
know,
you can do.
walking on faith, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, you got to go with what you know. You got to just hold
That's
on.
it. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's all I
Go with
got.
what you know. Listen,
That's
that's
it.
hold on. Just
Whatever rhyme works for you. You see what I'm saying? Go
hold
with what
on.
you know. Whatever
Mm.
framing works. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm
Shucking
moving
and
and
jiving,
grooving.
shaking and moving.
There you go. I'm moving and grooving. I'm out here. That's what's important.
listen, listen.
I'm
But
up
it's Thursday.
Thursday. That's right.
It's Thursday.
It's Friday Eve.
Friday Eve.
Mm-hmm.
It's Saturday's Eve, if you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
just count it on down. For all my besties, I'll count it down. Just
That's it. That's it. And soon it'll be the day before yesterday. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I think that, we just gotta take it how it comes. We gotta get up, we gotta keep moving. You
yeah.
gotta get into it. Whatever your spirit, let the spirit hit you, guide you right into whatever you're supposed to be doing today. So let us get into whatever we're supposed to be doing today, besides give y'all give y'all all this framing. So our first guest for today is here.
Mm.
Her name is Braxton Simpson. First of all, let me tell you something. I said, give me 100-word bio.
Yeah.
Okay,
hmm
that's what it said. You see what I'm saying? The little thing said 100-word bio, and
Yeah.
Braxton was like, I don't care about that. Okay, I don't got nothing to do it with the 100 words you need. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you I'm gonna give you 300 because that's what I got. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at it. So you know what we're gonna read this whole bio, okay?
Because
Because
Braxton gave it to us, and
because she gave it to us, so clearly y'all needed to know it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Forget my rules. Sometimes
Mm-mm.
you gotta break them. Sometimes you gotta say you need 100 words. I don't care about that. I'm giving you 3. You see what I'm saying? I'm here for it. So here we go. Braxton Simpson is a dynamic entrepreneur, influencer, and marketing professional, widely recognized for her ability to captivate and mobilize Gen Z audiences. She holds a dual bachelor's degree in agricultural sciences and political science from Tennessee State University and a master in business administration from North Carolina Central University. With expertise in social media strategy, communications, branding, and public speaking, Braxton has built an impressive career that bridges corporate, civic, and creative spheres. She is the founder of Braxton Simpson Enterprises, LLC, a personal and professional development firm and the home of Braxton Simpson Enterprises HBCU Mentorship Program, a nonprofit initiative that has supported over 200 HBCU women across nearly 20 campuses. Rooted in principles of passion to purpose and curating community, the company empowers young people and marginalized communities to own their narratives, careers, and futures through tailored services that foster autonomy, leadership, and lasting success. In the corporate world, Braxton serves as a global IT communication specialist at a Fortune 100 company, where she also leads as the chair of the Black Employee Resource Group, championing equity, inclusion, and authentic representation within the workplace. A passionate civic leader, Braxton is the East Regional Director for RISE, a national Gen Z-led organization committed to building youth political power. In this role, she works to ensure young people are equipped and empowered to influence policy and elections through grassroots mobilization and voter engagement efforts. She is also, come on, also, because let me tell you, you better put a hyphen over a hyphen and a comma over a
Listen,
comma. What we doing?
Miss
She is also the
Multifaceted.
host. Period. She is also the host of the Black in Motion podcast, a platform designed to spark real honest conversations with Gen Z and millennial Black audiences about about adulting, career, community, entrepreneurship, civic engagement, and more. Her impact has earned her national recognition, including the honor of being named an HBCU 30 Under 30 awardee. Braxton has interviewed influential leaders, including Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton, movement strategist Tamika Mallory, and Bernice King, the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She has also shared stages with Vice President Kamala Harris and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, and appeared on PBS NewsHour and national platforms where she often advocates for HBCU students and addresses pressing issues such as student loan debt and access to community. Last but not least, okay, in all of her work, Braxton leads with purpose and integrity, committed to inspiring others to learn, do, and become more, believing that true leadership lies in the ability to empower others. And now, also, she is a BGV alumni. Okay,
listen,
so let
I'm
me
here.
put
I'm
the
ready.
little cherry on everything. Okay, to let y'all know. All right, come to the stage. Welcome, Braxton.
I'm in to this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How
Oh my
you
God,
feeling?
I was so long. I should have listened to the 200 words. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm like, well, look, tell them, put some respect in your name, okay?
Listen, I'm not doing
because you've been in these streets, okay? I think that's the kicker. You've been out here. You've been, nobody don't need to ask you questions about your background.
Not at all. Not one question.
That's not in question. Expertise is not in question. Okay, that's not what we talking about. So what I do want to talk about is the importance of mobilizing Gen Z, right? Like I think that there's a lot of conversation around that all the time, and every generation we do this,
yes.
Right? We need to mobilize the next generation, and it'd be like millennials. Oh, let's get all the millennials to do a thing, right? Like that was where we were coming in. Like, oh, let's we need to figure out a way to reach millennials. Now it's Gen Z. We need to figure out a way to reach Gen Z. Then it's gonna be what they're calling with Gen Alpha.
Gen
right?
Alpha.
Then it's gonna be like we need to reach Gen Alpha. And Gen Alpha ain't like neither one of us.
They ain't playing.
No.
They ain't nothing like none of us. Okay. They don't care. They don't care about this technology. It's so native to them that it is becoming the house phone of their existence, right?
Yes.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like it evolved, they'll get one. Okay, if they need it. The cable company's still trying to sell them a package. They like won't need that no more. You know what I mean? Like that's what they at. Whole nother world. But Gen Z, I think, is a unique group.
Yes.
Because, especially, I'm sure you can run us down statistics. But one of the things that, from where I sit, that I can see is just the lack of job opportunities and lack of wealth and a lack of ability to make money. And that shifts or value money the same way.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the valuing what the older definition was of hard work. And I'm not saying that was the right definition. I'm just saying that is no longer valuable. So I don't even know what Gen Alpha about to do. I can't even, my mind can't even.
They can do their own thing.
It's going to be wild. But for Gen Z, tell us about like some of the, like, why is it necessary to mobilize Gen Z? What is and I think there's a voting piece of that, but it's also like a lifestyle piece of that too. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I think, first, just thanks for having me here to talk a little bit about this. But I think it's important to like mobilize Gen Z. To your point, like we have kind of grown up in like a different era. So then we have like our parents, right? And kind of like the way that they grew up. But then I know for me, I'm like a good in between Gen Z and millennial. Technically, I'm a Gen Z, but I'm like on the latter end of it. And so I still have some of those aspects of like, like the entrepreneurship, I guess, kind of play on it. I think you have like the part where technology, you remember where it was. Like I remember having like my first like Nokia phone, but I also remember getting my first iPhone in high school, versus like my younger sister. She's deep in Gen Z. And like she doesn't remember any of that because that wasn't her reality. So I think you have different aspects of it, but I think it's important to mobilize, mostly because I think we are in an era where so many of us are kind of marching to the beat of our own drum. Like I think we've seen what generations before us have done, and I think we respect that, we pay homage to that, but I think we are kind of like pushing the needle and pushing the narrative of kind of like, you know, people say Gen Z is lazy and like we don't really want to do this and that. And I don't really think that's true. I think we're just taking a different spin on it. But with that comes kind of this space that a lot of us are in where we have to have people meet us where we are. I will say that. And so I think the biggest point in just mobilizing Gen Z is figuring out where they are and meeting them exactly there, because they're going to be exactly where they want to be. And so that's the part that's difficult, right? So as a organizer that tries to mobilize people specifically around like elections and social issues and all of those different types of things, that is like the most difficult part, because our parents were and grandparents were easily like, we say there's something to mobilize around, they in the streets, they ready, like it's time to go. This is a little bit different. Everybody doesn't necessarily move that way. You have some people that do, but then you have some people that literally might only meet you online, right? And so it's like, how do we activate that space, meet people where they are, but also it's not just like showing up online and saying, hey, vote, or hey, come to this, or hey, we're organizing around health and wellness and we want to push towards this for Black women. It's like also we are kind of like, I guess, sensitive to how we're spoken to as well and how people communicate with us. So that's a whole other aspect of it. So it's like training those individuals that are working to organize in that way, and also like in how I show up online is, okay, I know I have to meet them here. I know I have to meet them between a certain time frame here. But when I can't just say, come to this or come vote. I got to tell you a story. I got to soften the blow a little bit. I got to take you on a day in the life and then kind of like weave it in there a little bit. So mobilizing Gen Z is interesting. And I'm sure with Gen Alpha, as they kind of get into that voting block sooner than later, it is like a very finicky type of game. You have to be sensitive to how they like to be communicated to. And I'm saying they, but like I can also relate, because I will scroll so fast on something and not really pay attention. But it is those like beginning, middle, ends, those good storytelling moments where something is kind of like weaved in there that gets my attention. And I think that's the same for a lot of my peers. But it does make it harder for those that are doing some of that important work to really truly meet people where they are.
Listen, Braxton, I'm sitting here. You see me hold my face, girlfriend.
I
I'm out
see
here.
you.
I'm out here fighting for my life, Braxton. Okay, because I do have, my children are Gen Z, right? So my children, and I am a Gen X, right? And so part of me, and I'm sure my mother was saying the same thing about me and my grandma, like, what is going on with these kids? Like, what is happening with them? And it is such nuance now. I mean, in every, in mobilizing, even in hiring, right? Like the hiring process
Yeah.
of hiring, this generation of worker, right? Like I notice my children don't give a hoot. Like they be like, no,
Not
I
doing
didn't
it.
like the way that felt. I
I'm
can't.
one.
And I'm just like, what do you mean? What does that mean? And I think it's some of that. It's like a lot of the generations before, like, I don't even understand what that means. I don't understand what it means when you're just like, that doesn't feel right to my spirit. And it's triggering me and I'm traumatized. And I'm just kind of like, what? Like, girl, I'm trying to get you a paycheck. Like, you got bills.
Yeah.
So I think it's like trying to
The balance.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't have that. So it's interesting. So I am 81. So I'm like on the, like, somewhere they're saying I'm Gen X, somewhere they're saying I'm millennial.
Yeah.
I claim to be a millennial because I'm gonna keep my jean jacket. You see what I'm saying? My
Period.
jean jacket is staying. I don't care
Yeah.
what nobody got to say about it.
I
So
got me one.
anyway, you see what I'm saying? So I claim millennial, but you know, it's tricky. You know what's funny is that every generation creates the next in some ways, right? I ain't gonna do it like my mama did it. You know what I mean? Everybody got that. I ain't gonna do it like my mama did it. I don't know what is happening with like where that collective thought came in, but we produced these Gen Z kids, but we didn't know what we was doing. See what I'm saying? It was we created these and the Gen Xers or you know or the boomers, they created us.
Yeah.
But every time there's a little bit more thought around liberation for each generation, but we don't actually know what that liberation is going to mean. So for everybody who's Gen X or millennial who then focused on making a certain level of money and career so that these Gen Z kids didn't have to go through what they went through with their parents.
Yeah.
This is the result of like not enough privilege. See what I'm saying? Like so stay with me. And some of what millennials, what Gen Z kids are going through is, in my opinion, is a taste of privilege, but not enough privilege. It's almost like, so like some of them, you know, who parents are rich and wealthy and they got all the privilege and they can live a life where they can complain about, you know, they need a proximity to a coffee maker to have a job. Like they could do that, right? Because they're living at a certain level. They could be like, I don't feel good today. And so I'm going to just, you know, nothing's going to work right if I don't. And they can just lay in bed all day. Maybe, I don't know. But because they live in a life where maybe their parents had a certain level of generational wealth and that got passed to them. But for some of us, we were like, we want you to feel the level of freedom and privilege that the people with money got, but we ain't really got the money though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like we don't, and so what we're seeing is this like intersection of like privileged kid but broke. And I don't mean I'm using.
I know what you mean though. Like there's a different level of work ethic that has to come with based off.
Yeah, and they ain't got it. They got the privileged kid work ethic.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They thinking like, well, I don't got to do. No, but you do. Okay, you do got to do it because the couch is open for you, but only for a limited time. See what I'm saying?
And I think there's a balance. Yeah, because I feel that like when I think about like my grandparents, for the most part, like a couple of them, they ended up getting degrees a little bit later on, but like that wasn't the thing. They were literally like in the streets marching with Dr. Martin Luther King, you know. But then you think about the next generation, which are my parents, and I believe they're Gen X, and they were first generation college students, right? So they were the ones who like went to Alabama A&M and they started like the college thing for our family and literally started like the HBCU legacy that is me, my brother, and my sister. You know, and so I think about the freedoms that I now have and that my brother and my sister now have to be able to walk into a workplace and say, this doesn't work for me, you know, or walk into a space and say, you know what, like, I'm going to have to speak up for myself in a way that I don't necessarily know that my parents necessarily felt empowered to do at certain parts in their careers. I'm seeing them have more of that liberation now, but like.
But wait, stay right there. Because the question is, but is that how real is it all as related to actually sustaining life? So I love that and this is what I mean by that, like privileged feeling, but what would be the hard work from the way that Gen X or millennials might look at it is not there. So we're like, so when you do go into it, because I hear that, like, yes, love the idea of, you know, I feel like I got the power to go into a job and say, this doesn't work for me, right?
But how much of that is reality?
How much of that is real up against like, but you need a job though. You know what I'm saying? So if the thing you're fighting against is, and I'm not saying, I want to be careful about this, the idea or the perceived reality from Gen X and some millennials is, or in boomers, older generations, is if you do go in and say that,
what happens?
You are not prepared to do what's next though. Right. And that's the problem. It's like, not you personally, but I mean, it's like, are you prepared to do what's next? And that's what we find the gap in.
Yes, I can 100% because I have these conversations on the flip side with a lot of my friends, right? So it is like I get it. Like I didn't grow up in a way where my parents were like, you can go and like quit a job and like not have a backup plan, you know? Like
Well, I didn't think my kids did either, Braxton. I told them
yeah,
that. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. And I don't think a lot of us did, but then I think we also kind of have like that, but you can always come home, you know, for how long? How long do you come home? Right. And so I think to your point,
That's a good point. Because I didn't
it,
think I could go home. I did eventually go home, but I didn't think that. I
yeah.
didn't have that thought.
And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of us have the idea, like, I can always go home. And I think that's a great thing to be able to go home, especially when you fall on hard times. But I think it's also kind of like that internal, I think is what you're talking about of, but I don't ever want to have to go home if I don't have to, you know, like, or if I make this decision in the workplace or in this space, like, am I set up to kind of do everything that I can to keep myself on my upward trajectory without having to lean back on a parent or whoever else to like do that. But I think like on the flip side, kind of through some of my conversations with like friends and stuff is like, you know, just the ability to be able to go back. Because I think one thing that we also have to remember is like this economy is crazy, rent is crazy, and it's one of those things where it's have like this general independence kind of self-made type of thing going on. But the reality is like I have a lot of friends that are like educators, and doing very like great, honest work, but it is not enough. It is not enough to sustain living alone or doing it by yourself. So I think probably one of the bigger conversations that we need to be having as Gen Z and as we have like Gen Alpha coming up is like, how do we specifically as Black people kind of like get back into some of that more like community building, capacity building type of thing? Because I think so much of like probably you all's generation is like, we see where our parents came from, and like there's an independence that has come from that we need to like sustain and that we need to pass forward and continue to pass forward to our children, because like the craziness of everything that's come with our communities it was not far ago, like the 60s, that's not really that far along. But I think I don't want us to be so independent that we don't feel like we can ask for help and like build that community. Because I feel like I see it in some other communities, and I would love for us to kind of get back to that as much as possible, because we're in some hard times where we probably need it a little bit more. But I think also from the standpoint of like a Gen Zer getting to that point, because I think there is a lot of like, I don't need that, but you kind of do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I absolutely get that. And like I said, being a parent, you know, of of Gen Zers, right? All of
Mhm.
my children are in Gen Z, right? So I'm gonna
Mhm.
be Braxton, I'm fighting for my life. That's what I'm just letting you know. I'm fighting for
Yeah,
my life. You know, just building and like I said, my children are phenomenal. Like
yeah.
they did all the things that they were supposed to do, right? They've purchased homes, they've gotten degrees, you know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
amazing young people. And
Yeah,
even as an entrepreneur, as I go and I start hiring, right, Gen Zers, right, I find that they are very educated, like very,
yeah.
in
Yeah,
tune.
education ain't the problem.
Yeah, it's not,
No,
it's
that ain't
just,
the problem.
it's like it don't like, I'm gonna say, and I'm saying it in the only way that I know how.
Yeah,
I'm just like, but you don't have any work ethic. Like you don't have any like drive to like I'm just like, where is the drive? Like, and so it's like I think it's that. And I think a lot of it is the frustration of it, right? Like it's just kind of like I need you to, like have some drive, have some, go get them. You know what I'm saying? Get some,
yeah.
like go after it. Like, come on, you can do it. And I'm just not.
It's like I can't push you to do it. I need
Yes,
you to do it.
like I'm not seeing it. Like I'm just kind of like some stuff is just hard.
Yeah, and
That's
I
period.
my
Just
parents
hard.
That's it.
these are the conversations that are happening in my household all the time between me, my brother, and my sister, and my parents. So I get it.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? It's interesting too. I'm so glad. First of all, what year did you participate in BGV? Do you remember?
That was 2022. So it was right after I graduated undergrad, starting my master's.
I'm so proud of you. It's 2026, and I'm like, I can just tell that, like, not that you were, weren't amazing then, but I can just hear the like progression of your like evolution and just rooms you've been in and things like that, and just like the way that you're talking now. I'm just like, oh, you're so grown up.
Thank you.
Okay. But but so and I'm glad that you sent me the full bio, because honestly that was like an update for me to like see your progression, like where you are now and things like that. So I'm so happy for you. Like, congratulations on all of your success for sure.
Thank you.
I think that, it is interesting to be able to be Gen Z parents and talk to somebody who's Gen Z and it not be our kids, because we even try to talk to them about it, they're not gonna hear it the same way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like I try to work with Gen Z employees as much as I can, because I do appreciate some of the levels of reflecting to me that I may be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? However, the balance, there's different people that they take it different. Some people you can give them hardcore feedback, and this is anybody in general, but for some reason it works a little different with Gen Z, right? Depending on who their parents are, maybe, I don't know, or times they fell on in life, they can shift. So I do want to say to people, it can be hard, but there are some people who are like, they got an old school parent, and so they can hear the feedback and take it
and not personalize it too bad.
Right. And then there's the extreme where like everything you say is personalized, hyper personalized, to a point where I'm like, child, and this is what we don't want. We don't want it to be, I'd rather just not work with you. I think like, and that's what I think Gen Z, that's what you got to hear, right? Is that it's not that people aren't willing to bridge, because we get it. And like I just said, the breakdown of, you got the feeling, the safety that y'all feel, we didn't have the safety. So when we create a more safe generation, what does that look like? And I think that's the question we're not asking ourselves either. It's like, if they feel so safe that they are willing to let a job go, then like we kind of want that in a way, right? Like some of that we want. Yes, we don't want to affect that. At the same time, we just want to add a little bit of reality to Gen Z, that you don't want to have to do that. So what's the balance, right? Like if I'm pressing you too hard and you not pressing hard enough, I don't know where to find the balance of hiring Gen Z, working with Gen Z, having them share, having them, because some of us, we just already locked into like, if you ain't working hard, you ain't earning.
Yeah, I agree.
But question for you.
Yeah.
What we're up against is who shifts?
Who shifts?
Does politics shift? Does, the workforce shit? Like, and now you're talking about AI?
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I mean, your job could be gone if you don't want to do it, So I get it. And I think there is a balance. I think kind of to the point that you were just talking about, I think from the Gen Z perspective, we have to be open to like the constructive feedback. We have to be open to the criticism, and we have to be open to not allowing every piece of feedback to sway us so much that we're willing to just high and by. But I think also part of what y'all's generation has given to us is that confidence and that ability to say, if this doesn't work for me, I am good enough to leave. Just like we've seen some of our more privileged counterparts. Like, I don't have to stay anywhere where I don't feel appreciated. And I think there's a lot of power in that. And not feeling like, because I would say this, like, one thing I've noticed about my parents' generation is like 9 times out of 10, the job that they've been in, they stayed in. And I know that's a little different for you all because y'all are entrepreneurs. But if you think about some of your peers, like, they've likely been at the same job, or maybe the same company, or same type of space for a while.
Not my peers, honey.
Okay, maybe
millennials,
not
we ain't keeping a job like
maybe
that. Not
yours.
My peers. Yeah,
more like Gen X.
Yeah. Older folks, yeah. And I mean, I'm not. I mean, Takira ain't that much older than me, but I'm just saying, like,
my parents are like mid-50s. They're like mid-50s.
Yeah, no, I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you about to be 50.
I'm pushing on 50, but but the thing about it is, and I agree with you, right, Braxton? Like you're hitting on a lot, right? I happen to be one of those, Gen Xers that, like I don't listen, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, give me 3-4 years and let me get fully vested and
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. Like I'm good,
Right.
I'll see you later. But I do recognize what you're saying with with the generations before a lot. And I will say some of my friends have been with organizations or companies. They got that good government job and they stayed there, right? The entire time throughout there. So I totally understand, like they found safety in, listen, this is my job. I do it well. I'm going to stay
retirement.
Here. Yep. I'm good.
Yes. And I think there's something that we can learn from that, of not just jumping ship, when things get hard, and being able to stick through the tough times. But I think kind of like maybe an opportunity for learning from us is like, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to, if you don't feel like this job or this space is like beneficial to you and your growth and your professional development and where you're trying to go, it's okay to jump ship and start something else. But then again, what we learn from you is have a plan before you do that. What is your plan? What is your strategic plan? You can't jump ship with no backup plan or no savings, no nothing else to like back it up. So I think when you ask the question of like who shifts, I think we both do. I think there's a little lenience on both sides. Because I definitely find myself in spaces sometimes where I'm a little stubborn, what my parents are kind of like instructing me to do, because I just feel like, not that I know best, but that I'm just like, that's just an older way of thinking, But then also I'm like, sometimes I'll make that move and think I probably could have stuck that out a little longer. And the character that it builds in like sticking some things out. But I think also having the courage to leave a space that no longer serves you is also, there's a lot of power in that too.
I love that. That's a great, we need to walk toward each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you, like I said. And I can't wait to see all the things that you do, that you continue to do and build. We thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, and then I read your bio too. I'm like, we need to reach out to you. We need to partner with you.
I mean, she knows
Let's do some things. Let's do some things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you both. Great chatting this morning.
Have a good day. I love that. Nasa, I see you. I love that because I'm here to learn too,
Yeah. And it's hard on me. Like for real. It's like, parenting our young people and then actually being in a position to hire them. So it's just like, I think too, Omi, like we're doing all the things, like we're parenting this generation, we're educating this generation, and we're hiring in this generation. And so you see all of the different ways, the forms that our young people come to us with. And what I totally understand, and I do give my daughters and, young people, I'm so excited that they really do stand up for themselves. Like, baby, they not playing with you. You know what I mean? Like, listen, they gonna say the words, but I think it's just like, but there is no plan. Like, it's like, okay, you got the words, but where is the plan? Like, how do you?
And like, here's the thing. It's like, and I've been telling them this though, since they was kids. So I'm also like, what did y'all miss in what I've been saying this whole time?
Yeah.
That you didn't think to yourself, I need to have a plan. And like, what was happening in my mom and dad planted inside of me that makes me do. And I think part of and I don't mean this from like an intentional negative sense, but part of it was fear. Like the same kind of fear hasn't been implanted in them for some reason. Because I think I was careful without knowing it to not plant fear, but be instructional. Mm-hmm. So something around the reality of the need to be afraid missed them, right? So it was like, it was more of like, it's an instruction to have a plan, not I might perish if I don't. You know what I mean? And that was the way I got the instruction. Like, child, you need to have a plan because if you don't, you might. not have nothing. You might be sleeping on the street. You might be, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, oh no, I don't be sleeping on the street. You know, like when I would mess up in school, okay, my dad, now my at this time growing up, my mom now has her degree in accounting, but before that, my parents didn't have any degrees. But if I would mess up in school, my dad would go to a drawer, pull out his high school diploma. Now, why he had his high school diploma in the drawer, I don't know. That's beyond me, and it's never a question that I ask. Okay, later in life, like wonder why he had it in that drawer, but it might have been for dramatic effect because he liked that. So he would pull that high school diploma out that drawer and be like, "I got my high school diploma. You need to get yours." You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, "But getting high school, getting my diploma, probably was that even in question?" So I think like for my kids, it wasn't never in question as to whether or not you're going to graduate from high school or go to college. Never was it in question. But for me, from an affordability standpoint, and I was wilding out in high school, let me be clear. There was a question of like, what would I make it? But for me, I'm like, y'all got to make it. You know, for my kids, I'm like, no, you got to make it. There's no if I make it. It's like, no, get these books right. Okay. No, after that, get to school on time. You playing a sport, go hard on it. You like, but they took it instructionally versus existential.
I think too, I have to, and as you were talking, I have to take ownership of one thing: to do what I say, not what I do, right? Because my thing is,
and do what I say, but not what I did.
Yeah, but I think too, like I think one of the things that I did was, it looked like I never had a plan. Like I'm trying to tell, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just kind of like I was out here winging it with 3 children. Like I'm being like, you know, and it was like I might have had a loosey-goosey plan, but I was out here like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And so I have to take ownership too of the fact that I showed them also something different. Like I wasn't a traditional mom. You know what I'm saying? I think we have to take, so I'm going to take ownership of that. Like I wasn't a tradition. A lot of their friends, their moms did have traditional jobs, 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Going to like, I was not that mom. Like I wasn't. And so I showed them, like, I'm like, yes, go to school. You know, you got to do this. You got to get a job. You got to do this. But I was showing them something totally different. Like they were watching me become an entrepreneur, right? I started my entrepreneur. My son has never known me with a regular job.
That's interesting.
Never had a 9 to like.
What did I show them? I didn't show them.
I saw it with my mother. Like I saw her go to work every day. I saw her clock in. I saw having to call her when I got home from school, you know, clock 1082. Can I speak to clock 1082? So that way I could talk to my mom on the Kmart business phone, right? You know what I'm saying? Like my children have never, my son doesn't know a time where I did not drop him off at school and did not pick him up. He doesn't know a time where he couldn't call me in the middle of the day and say, "Mommy, come get me. I need you to come up here." He doesn't know that.
What's interesting about it is, okay, to that point, my kids have seen me working 9 to 5, but they've also seen me easily leave them. Right?
That's like, what I'm saying. Like, I'm doing this. Say,
yeah, but do what I say, not as I do, and I'm doing so much so that you are able to do what you want to do. And I'm telling you, when you get to that point of you got to do, you ready to do, like have a plan. But like, I don't know. It's funny because my oldest said something and I was like, what? He was like, I just don't know if I, you know, understood fully the after college, like what college was supposed to do for me, right? Like I don't know if I understood that fully, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, now immediately the first thing I'm doing is almost getting offended, like what you talking about? You know what I mean? Which you don't know what college, you know, like that kind of thing. But then I had to sit with that for a minute and go, interesting, right? Like nobody had to tell me what college was supposed to do, right? because the whole theme around older generations was get education. That's going to better your life. Get education. That's going to better your life. Well, by the time I came along, and this is, statistics that exist right now, we all got degrees and ain't doing a damn thing with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not working within the thing that would be our degree. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like we got degrees and it creates aptitude, but we're not necessarily working squarely within whatever that thing is. And so I don't know that my language to my kid, it was like, get a degree because that's a thing you gotta have, right? You gotta have shoes and a shirt on to get served in this bar, in this restaurant. Like it was like that thing. If you don't have one, what you gonna do? Then it's becoming, wait a minute, you don't even need one. Mm-hmm. It's great if you got it, but to the point that we made earlier, all these Gen Z folks, they hella educated, but ain't got it. But regular life sense, they ain't got it. It's a lot of them. They need life skills, soft skills. Got all them hard coded skills. Soft skills is in question. So it's kind of like, was there something we forgot to tell them?
No, I don't think so. I think Omi, I know we have our next guest, but I think also we need to take into consideration, you were getting your degree with children. There's a level of responsibility our children do not have. And I'm grateful that my daughters were able to go through adulthood. By the time I was my children's age, I had 2 children. I already had 2. So my responsibility level was different. So it was like failing and going back home and not being able to pay, like I had 2 other mouths to feed. Our children now are making decisions that we prayed that they would make, but we have no point of reference as to what happens when you make that decision because we didn't have that lived experience. So I'm really mindful too that I don't know what it's like to be 26 years old with no children. I have no clue.
I don't either. I don't know what it's like. There's a lot of my kids' experience. And we're going to bring up our next guest, Nasai, in a second, because she's talking about wellness and we need to talk about that clearly. Mm-hmm. So what's interesting, me and my kids do not have the same life experience in any sense, to be honest. I don't know what it's like to not have 2 parents. That's not like, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with 2 parents. They didn't. Like, I don't know. So I'm leading life through this lens of providing as if I'm 2 people, because that's what I know it looks like. Right. But there's still a missing person from them. There's a missing component for them. You know what I mean? And so like, I mean, in terms of, especially like with Joe, with my middle child and my youngest, more like physical component, not necessarily general presence overall, but still, right? I don't know what that means. Like I lived with my mom, my dad all the way till I went to college. So I think like that until I moved out of my own. So I also don't have their lived experience at all. And so I think it's also hard and this is where like they don't always have a lot of grace for that until moments of their own age hit them. Like, like Joe hit a certain age, like, Ma, oh my God, like when you were my age, you had me. Yeah, right. I can't even imagine having a kid right now. And I'm like, hey, now you understanding. Now you understanding?
Yeah. But it takes time for that. The same way it has taken time for me to understand the woman that is my mother. Right. And I'm going to lead with that, the woman that is my mother. Right. And so she was a woman. She was her whole human self before I was conceived. Right. And so now as we go through this process, I think it's some of that. But because we need help. We got to.
And speaking of needing help, okay, or need a little aid, or need a little support, I want to bring up Nazaa Amin. She is the founder of Alma Wellness, where she creates culturally rooted healing experiences for Black women and girls through yoga therapy, leadership training, and community care. She is also a professor at Morgan State, and a certified yoga therapist. So, coming to the stage, welcome. Hello.
Hello, ladies. Hello,
Good morning,
hello.
beautiful.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just sitting here nodding the whole time, like, yeah, I'm right there with y'all. My son is 20, and I had him at 22, and all of those things, right? Like just imagining him being a father or being a husband or doing those roles that I did when I was his age, and just this whole Gen Z millennial. It's a disconnect, but it's also a lot of ways that we lean on them because they're my mentors. Like I look to the young people to be my mentors too, and it's just So I'm just nodding with y'all the whole time.
Yeah, no, I love it. So tell me what you're working on, and shout out to Morgan State,
Yes.
who is also one of
Yes, go
BGV's. We have a chapter. Yeah, we have a chapter at Morgan State.
Nice.
And so, wait, are you involved with it?
Yeah, so yeah. So I'm not involved with I've heard of of y'all chapter up there. I think I went to Key. I think you had it was either a conference you had there a few years back.
Yes, you did.
Conference, and I went there at the Graves, in the Graves building. So yeah. So I'm familiar with it, but I'm not directly involved.
Are you still teaching there?
Yeah, I am. Yep. I just did my first semester, the spring 26, and I got 4 more classes coming up in the fall. So
all right now.
Awesome.
I'm still there, very much so.
And so you have but you're also about to launch a yoga teacher training. So
yes,
I want to get where's it about to be?
Yes.
Because I want to get fully certified. I feel like I've signed up for so many classes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out what I need to get it done.
Yes. So I'm looking to launch it in the fall of this year, fall 26, leading into spring of 27, and it'll be I live in Park Heights, but it's on like the northwest side, so right close to Silburn. It's a wellness integrative health center that I work for too, Ruscombe. So I'm going to be housing it there. Yep.
Tell me what it is. Tell us like
yes. Let me hint to that is so and thank you guys for the intro. So I'm Nazaha Amin, and so my company is I'm a Wellness. So my whole focus is on yoga therapy, wellness, leadership training, entrepreneurship for Black women and girls. So everything I do is for our ease because we are worthy of that. We are deserving of that. And we often put that to the back burner while we're dealing with these kids, dealing with our family. A lot of us are caregivers as our parents are aging, and just dealing with life, dealing with society, dealing with these things that's trying to beat Black women down. So I create safe spaces, safe healing spaces, and sister circles where we can just breathe together. But one of the things that, and a lot of my students have been requesting this for years, but I'm developing a yoga teacher training program. So there's more Black women that do what I do. So I'm developing a 200-hour yoga teacher training program so that there are more of us. We can be in schools, we can be in community centers, we can be in hospitals, because as a yoga therapist, I work in the healthcare field. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between an instructor and a therapist. So if you look at more yoga instructor, which is what I started as, the lens is focused sometimes more on like the fitness aspect and the physical aspect. But when you look at it from a therapeutic lens, it's more of like bio, psycho, social, spiritual. So you're getting more into, the mental health aspect, the emotional health. If you're dealing with a specific physical ailment, like maybe you're in remission, you're in cancer recovery, you have an orthopedic, something in your spine happening, we have a specific yoga therapy plan for that. So that's kind of part of my training is a therapeutic aspect of yoga as well. So, yep.
I love that.
Thank you.
Now, is it going to be like registered with like Yoga Alliance and all that kind of thing?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yep. So in order to be the register, you have to go through Yoga Alliance for that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
How many? So when people say 200-hour teacher certification, how many hours for yoga? How many hours is that classroom versus instruction?
So it varies. It could be let's say I'm an in-person person, right? COVID, pandemic almost took my ass out. Well, I don't know if I cuss, but it almost took me out because I like y'all can see I'm a one person. I'm a Gemini, it's my season. But I like to be in person. I like to feel that energy. And the virtual aspect, yes, I do some virtual sessions, but that in person is what's important. So I like to do as many classroom hours as possible, as well as get them into the field. And that's even a part of what I do at Morgan with my students. And they were all shocked when I said, yeah, y'all about to be teachers too. And they're like, well, I know what I said. No, y'all, I've been with you all for what, 13, 14 weeks. Y'all are about to now instruct and be out in community and share what you know, right? So that's a proponent of it too. So it's the instructional part where you're learning anatomy, physiology, you're learning like different, just the background of yoga, some of it, and it has African origins. A lot of people don't think that. They always think it's Indian origins only, but there are a lot of African origins, especially in Kemet, which is, Egypt, the historic Egypt, Nubia. So learning a lot of that. Also learning a lot of culturally responsive practices, because a lot of times people only go to studios or spaces and none of them look like us, which is why I even started it, because I went to like damn near like 10 studios in Baltimore. And I'm like, I'm the only one that's like a little bit thicker. I'm the only one brown. I'm the only one. I'm not lifting my leg up there. And I was like, well, these spaces don't exist. Let me create these spaces. So, and I know there are other sisters and brothers and just people around who don't have spaces that look like us. So that's why I said, okay, let me just get this training going so more of us can be doing this work.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Hey, now, because, only be getting me to breathe. Okay. And when I was in South Korea, one of the things I realized was that my body, I have such a sedentary lifestyle. Like, like I'm always at the computer. I'm always, and I thought I was moving. Like I really did. Like I thought I was, like I'm like, oh my goodness, when I teach, I'm moving, I'm talking, I'm walking, I'm doing it. But baby, I ain't got no flexibility. Don't ask me to hips locked up.
Hips
locked up.
And I think one of the things about yoga, so I'm certified in yoga nidra, which is
yes.
So one of the things about it, about yoga, is that when people hear it, they automatically are like, I ain't trying to do all that.
I ain't doing it.
Because the commercialization of it is young white woman in sports bra and
super thin.
Super thin, and she's like been in shaping herself all over the place. And it's like, that is the look of yoga. And, and I think we, as we talk about this, is like, even the brand of healing or the brand of wellness, right? Right now, it is also a lot of that. It's a lot of like, it's like extremes. It's either like super eclectic person of color that ain't got a lot of money. Or it is, or it is sort of crunchy, non-melanated person. Who is somewhere in between worlds. Like either they got some like African or Indian something they're mirroring on their body, and some like, and they may have found enlightenment. You know what I mean? But it's just the brand of it all. Or it's just Gaia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Gaia channel level. And it's like, how do we, in your work, what language, what storytelling, how do we bring more people? Because these indigenous practices are being sold back to people of color, right? And it's like, how do we bring more people into understanding, like, hey, y'all, sound bowls are not witchcraft. You know what I mean? People are like, because God and Jesus.
Yeah. I've heard it. I've heard it all. Believe me.
Everybody calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people don't know, look, I don't know how far we want to go with this, because
we can go. We can. The whole hour could be there, but I know that we ain't got the time for it.
Because this whole idea of like the friction against Christianity is the most, in my opinion, like super evidence of colonization that I've like, it's so clear. But anyway, go ahead, I'll let you respond.
But I got it. Thank you, Omi. So I'm Muslim, right? So I have jutted up.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and butted up against it for the whole time. I've been a practitioner.
Yeah, because we're not supposed, let me say
that loosely, not supposed
to do yoga or any of that. Talk about that.
sermons and cookbooks, and I'm getting tagged and stuff, and people sent me articles and all this other BS that is not my issue. That's their issue. They're projecting. I also look at the person that's doing it, and I'm saying, yeah, you're the one who, I know you have that lower back pain. I know you are in that relationship that you can't stand, but you're just staying with it. I know you are very, very stressed, and I can see it on your face, and I can see it in your skin, right? I can see it in your demeanor, and I'm quiet with it, right? I don't debate. I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I know my work, and there were times where I had to fight for this, but I know my work, I know my worth, and I'm going to keep doing it, and my community is going to find me, right? So I had to really step out of spaces where it felt like I was having to prove what I do, and just really myself, and whoever's supposed to connect with me is going to find me. They're going to want it. They're going to love it. And one of the things that I did, the more people would say, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this, or that goes against religion. And are you practicing Hinduism? Are you doing Buddhist? Are you doing this? And I would just keep my mouth quiet. Then I would get another certification and another certification. And I went as far, I have a bachelor's of science in yoga therapy. Right. Like I don't play with this work. So, and I'm going to continue with that. And I have a doctorate vision in my future as well. Okay. And I'm going to keep this going, because the more people that are up against it, the more people that are pushing it away, they're probably double, triple that actually need this. And I've even had it, and I've loved it. And I just be quiet. I just be sitting back. I'm like, And I've had the same people that were, I guess, trying to like take it down and dispute it. They're the same people like, so do you have any more openings in your session? So you got something else coming up, because my girlfriend went last year and she really loves it. I'm like, yes, I do, sis. Like, here's the link. Register. I'll see you there. And that's it. Like, I don't have to fight and prove it. And that's something that, us as Black women, we do that a lot. Like, we're like, no, but see. It's like, no, we don't got to we just got to be ourselves. We just got to live the work. People are going to see us. People are going to observe it, and just who you are on a regular basis. We ain't got to prove ourselves as much as we keep trying to. So that's one of the things that I had to do.
And this sounds like a lot of alignment. And I think that's one of the things you learn, what you learn in yoga training, because I done started a couple of them, okay?
Yeah.
I done started a couple of them, but I ain't finished them.
Yeah.
One of the things you learn is you learn that this is a lifestyle. It is not a thing you go and do. Like, I go to the gym. Like, that's not how it works. Like, it is a part of how you live. It is a part of how you perceive life. It is understanding like the piece of it all, right? And what that looks like. And so, I really love that. Take me back a little bit though, real quick, because I know we got to get ready to let you go. But
absolutely,
why did you start it? Because there's so many people who the religious stronghold would cause them to not even visit. And the fact that you are a Muslim, like that's huge, because it's strongly principled. Now, Christians be talking a lot, but they ain't all that. They ain't strongly principled. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Christians out there, and I don't identify as any one thing, but I'm just saying, like, I believe in it all. I don't identify with it all, right? So I say, like, how, like, the process that you had to go through, I'm curious about, to even like overcome, because I think this is a part of the story that helps bring people in. Right. Like, because you might have went through am I doing something wrong? Is this going to be against my, my beliefs? Am I going to be punished? Right. Like, talk to me about your story from whatever you were doing before to this is the thing to do.
I love that. Great question on me. So I'm an educator at Morgan, but way before that, I came right out of college into a teaching career. So I graduated from Morgan too. So I'm an alumni as well. So right after that, I went to a private school, that I graduated from. So it was a private religious school. And within that school structure, I did elementary, I did middle school, I did a little bit of high school, but mostly elementary and middle. And I loved it. I loved the kids. I loved the babies. But the more I literally sat behind that desk, the more I felt myself shrinking. And the more I would like present an idea to the administration or say, well, why don't we do this or why don't we do that? And a lot of it, was accepted, but the more things were like pushed back, I'm like, this ain't like this not me. This not where I'm supposed to be. This isn't it. So then from there, so I was a graphic design, fine arts major. I know you guys said a lot of time when you do your degree, you don't do it afterwards, but I'm one of the rare people I did do it. So I had a web design and an art business for about 10 years. So then I leaned more into art. And then the more I leaned into that, life started lifing, right? So, went through divorce, went through having to move out of different homes. I went through a lot of just things with my family and just some different tumultuous things. I went through a big health scare back in, what was that? Like my late 20s, early 30s. And as a part of that, I said, what I'm doing is not working. Yes, prayer was helpful, taking it to God, because, we have our salat rug in Islam, where we pray, we do our 5 daily prayers, we do other ones throughout the week. And it was helping in a way, but it was not all, right? So another calling was coming to me. And I said, I got to move this body. I got to move some things out of me. I have to change my environment. I got to change my thoughts. And I said, what's something that comprehensively can do all of that? And the answer kept being yoga. It just kept being, no matter how I tried, like, no, but this, I kept coming back to it. So the more I realized, like, no, this is for me, because I practiced in college. Like I was like junior year, I might've been like, I don't know, 16, 17. And I practiced then, but then I kind of just abandoned it and, became a mother, a wife, all the things. And then I went through health scares. I went through life transitions. And I said, okay, I just keep coming back to this. So then, and when I do something, I go hard. I have my Virgo sun or my Virgo moon. One of them is the one where I'm like super organized and on point. So once I realized, okay, this is it, I dove all the way in. Like I said, I started going to those studios. I didn't see me. And I said, okay, bump that. I'm about to start my own. So then I did my own 200-hour training back in 2011, 2012. And then again, I was the only, right? A lot of rooms where we're the only. And then I said, I'm going to start my own session. So I literally started in my living room. I pushed my chairs, my couch, my chairs back. And I'm like, hey, y'all, I just want to teach yoga. I'm not certified or nothing yet, but I said I wanted to do it. And then I did it. Right. And then my sisters loved it, kept loving it. And then that's when I started in 2013, my Sisters Yoga series. So Sisters with an AS. And I started that and have been continuing to do that since around 2013. I officially did it in 2016. So after I started that, more of my sisters started coming. I started feeling better in my body, feeling better in my mind, in my spirit. I said, I'm going to keep this going. And then from there, just kept expanding. I have different corporate clients. I do retreats for different companies. I also do one-on-one yoga therapy. So that's where it's super specific to what you're dealing with. I come to people's homes or they'll come to my studio. And then I just realized my community needs this. And I know, like you were saying, Takia, you were like, I'm not flexible. You think you're working, you think you're moving, but you got that back pain. I meet the people where they're at. Most of my clientele are people who have barely heard of yoga, let alone have practiced. And I've had people where I've done sessions, because I did them in Baltimore City Public Schools for about 7 years. And I would have people where they were like kind of like peek in the room where I'm doing, but then they would walk away. Or they would like kind of stand on the sideline, but they wouldn't sit down. And I would walk up. I'm like, do you know how to breathe? And like, of course, I'm doing it now. I said, so sit your butt in this seat. Because that's all we're doing. All we're doing is literally breathing in and out. That's it. And if we share a little bit, we talk a little bit, we might move a little in a chair, but that's it. I'm just giving you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour just to breathe, just to be. And a lot of times our people think it's not accessible, but it really is. Because you don't have to be, and I know you hint at that, Omi, you don't have to be a contortionist to practice yoga. Right? You don't got like my leg and like us even sitting here in each other's presence, we are practicing it. There are 8 limbs of yoga. Us just being present is practicing that meditative presence right now, right? Us just being here, just breathing, just in this little, our intimate little sister circle, even though others are watching, we're right here. We're practicing yoga. So that's one of the things that I bring it to the people. I've done it in different shelters, different community centers, healthcare centers, but I try to bring it where people are not really aware of it, and it's at a level that they can easily access and know that if you have a body, you're a yogi. That's it.
Are you gonna be in town on September 11th?
I sure am. Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're gonna reach out to you.
All right, sure.
Yeah, we're having a wellness day as a part of our summit. So the Futures We Build Summit will be September the 9th to the 12th. But on the 11th, it's gonna be a full wellness day.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So we want to have a sunrise yoga.
Nice.
It's gonna be at the West End.
Okay.
And so
you going in DC or in Baltimore?
DC.
In DC. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would definitely hit you up for you to come on down and do some yoga with us. For us. Teach us the way. Okay.
Yes.
Teach us with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, though. I really appreciate. So the when are you starting? When is the teacher training?
So it's not official yet, but I'm looking to start fall of 26 going into spring of 27. So that is it. And I'll have it. So at I'm a Wellness is my Instagram. I took a pause from social media for about 7-8 months. I needed it. It felt amazing. After my birthday, a couple weeks ago, I came back, I rejoined. So I'm going to start like posting more things on there. So you'll be able to see like launch dates, like different, if we're just doing just like a day where you could just get like an orientation day, just get some info, FAQ. So I'll be putting that on my socials and on my website.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you. We excited. Thank you for the good work. We need that for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
This was great.
All right. Bye.
Take care, loves.
I love that. Well, I love that. I'm all about it. I'm like, let's go. Like, let's breathe. Let's do the things. So for those who don't know, I'm a certified breathwork practitioner, also yoga nidra, and I purposefully got certified in yoga nidra because I wanted to focus on rest. I think now because improving sleep deficits, like what I realized is that like as a busy high performer, that I was not sleeping well. And that so many people are not sleeping. The number of people who are not sleeping is kind of wild. I don't know why they haven't considered that an epidemic right now. The way we have like the loneliness epidemic, there are so many people. If we were to talk to 50 people today, I guarantee that at least half of them would tell you they don't sleep well. Like sleep quality is kind of crazy right now. People are not sleeping well. So I was so interested in yoga nidra because technically it's not for sleeping. So I want to be clear. Like, it's not like it's for sleeping. That's not what it's for. But one of the benefits of it is really about nervous system regulation. It is really about getting your body into certain levels of calm where you can actually shift, I would say, your reality or some of your perceptions and thoughts around things to improve the way you live your life. But if you do 30 minutes of it, 20 to 30 minutes of it, you can get actually 2 to 4. It's like equivalent to like 2 to 4 hours of sleep. So after doing it, you feel so refreshed. And so, it's one of the things I really care about. But then I'm like, let me go ahead and get the full like yoga all the way, like full certification. But child, what time I'm gonna do that? You see what I'm saying? What time?
You're gonna make time because it's
You're
what
right.
you want to do. Right?
I am. You're right.
You want to do, and
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's for your greater good and for your benefit. And so you're gonna do it. And the crazy part is though, when you mentioned like there isn't really much research about, rest and you know what I mean? Like, well, there's research about rest, but really calling it a epidemic is one, we've gotten so used to living in states of deficit that we don't even recognize that we are running with no sleep. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I had to realize that like living every day with pain is not normal. But many of us throughout our lives, right, have gotten used to a certain level of, pain or discomfort or I didn't sleep well last night, and we just talk it up to life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh girl, I'm getting older, my knees is hurting. Oh girl, I'm getting older, you know, and it's just kind of like we don't do the things. One, we don't recognize that you don't have to live like this. Like you can do this. And then two, we don't do what's necessary because it's an ongoing thing, right? Like it's not something that, like, a lot of people are just like, well, I'll just take this medicine. Well, sometimes the medicine give you something else. Like, yeah, so now you don't have knee pains, but your kidney's failing. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't, yeah, you know, your back not hurting, but now you got ulcers in your stomach. Like, wait a minute, let me figure out something else. Cause but I think it's also like people really talking about, you know, like I'm not sleeping well. Like I know I posted that jet lag wore me out. Like I could not get myself together for days, right? Like I was out here like winging it, but it was like saying it and then getting the feedback from people like, oh my goodness, like that happened to me too. And I didn't know what it was.
Right.
You know, that like I was going through that too. And well, what did you do? And I think it's also just coming out and being like, that's not normal. Like my knees hurt is not normal.
It's not normal to be in pain every day. And I think that is, you know, I was thinking about what you were saying. I was thinking that, like, oh, my knee tingle, it's about to rain. That's what came to me, right? Like the lack of access has created this, has caused us to sometimes misinterpret what different pain means and sort of like over-index on over-index on shake it off, over-index on, you know, just take a nap. And don't get me wrong, a lot of things are solved by taking a nap.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, Omi, you know, we need to lay ourselves down. You know, that's my nervous system regulation.
If you just get still, if you just get still, your body is like a machine. It starts repairing itself. The body isn't such an amazing thing, right? That it is just like so out of this world in terms of like what it can do, how it functions, all these things. And we got to keep studying it, right? We got to keep studying it and we got to keep practicing on it. Like I remember a friend of mine, she said, she was like, remember, doctors are practicing medicine. Right. And I'm like, when you put it in that perspective, it's like, well, what could we be doing too? I think like Eastern medicine and Western medicine need to be like, we need to start looking at like meds and like, yes, there's medicine out there. And, you know, if you need to take it. That's what you got to do. And go get, I think I said this actually recently, go get acupuncture. Yeah. Go stretch. Yeah. Go, you know, go park further than you normally would park and just walk.
Eat kimchi. That's what I like. Let me try to tell you something. But I'm being honest with you. Like, I love fermented foods. Like, I do. I love fermented foods. I love pickled foods. Like, I love that. Like, and I didn't realize the beauty that it has on your body, like your digestion, right? Like how you digest your food. And some of it was like, you know how you get that feeling like, oh my God, I just feel so bloated or full. You know what I mean? Like that whole like, it's not sitting well with me. So when I went to, you know, South Korea, they eat kimchi almost with every meal. Like, so it was just like, and it's not a lot, like, it's just a little bit of it. And it's just like a little bit, and then you have it. But the way you never feel that overwhelming fullness, you know, that almost hurts. You know what I'm saying? And we think it's normal, like, woo, girl, I ate so good that I'm just like, girl, it don't work for me. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I get sick. Like, it's just like, you done ate so much, you're sick now. Come on. So I think it's too, like you said, like really tapping into things that work and not just relying on medicine, but actually getting up and moving your body. That's my next thing on me. I got to start doing something. Like I got to get up and start moving my body.
Well, I support that. Okay. And again, you can do it. Okay, Angela, I see you. Okay, good. you can do it in multiple different ways and know that it doesn't have to be extreme. And I think when you look at social media and it depending on who you follow and everybody's extreming it in the gym, you think that's what you got to do. And it's like, actually park a little further away from the store door. Start there. Park a little further, park way out where there's a lot of empty parking spaces, and walk to the store a little further than you normally would. That's one. You know, if you got a parking lot or a neighborhood or whatever, take a circle, walk a circle before you just walk straight to the house. You know what I'm saying? You know, that just start to get like little pieces in. There's a bunch of lymphatic drainage people, like they show you like doing like moving your body, like swing your arms from side to side, just doing, you know, flexing your heels and like tapping. Is another one, just like tapping and sort of like getting about like circulation, things like that are like super accessible. There's this guy on social media. I did not know his name. I found him. I saw a couple of his posts and I started following him because what he was doing was like, he'll show somebody doing like this extreme. If you do this 15 times a week, you can do that. And he'll be like, but you don't got to do that. You can actually just sit down in a chair and do it like this, and then you get the same results. You could just like stand up on the wall and do this with a pillow and get the same results. And I follow him because I'm like, thank you. I didn't do not one of the exercises yet. Okay, that is true. But I follow him because I'm like, when I'm ready to do him, he's who I'm coming to. So I think like just making things more accessible. Our last guest for today is Angela Chester, and she's the owner and chief flavor of Plum Good Wellness, a wellness for local spice, herb, and tea company. She's a lover of and promoter of people, culture, and prosperity, and she has a cookbook anthology coming out. So I want to welcome her to the stage. Hello, Angela.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I did it.
Good morning.
You're here. You made it in.
I made it in. I'm telling you. How is everybody? And chief flavor maker. I'm the flavor
okay.
maker.
We left a word. There's a word left out. It just says chief flavor of. So that's okay. That's all right. We got it. Chief flavor maker.
Flavor though, right?
You can be that's what I said. I said, well, hey.
Yeah.
Yes. So spice, herbs, and tea company. So talk to me about that real quick before we get into the anthology. So
absolutely. So, you know, our motto is that we make delicious easy. I come from a background of international advocacy, and so traveled a lot of places throughout the world. And one thing I found out is that the kitchen is where it be at. The kitchen is the hub of a culture, no matter where you are. You know, you have good friends, they come in, what'd you cook? What's in the refrigerator? You know, it's where we talk about things, bellyache about stuff, wine, win, you know, and all those good things. So the other thing I know is that everybody understands a good meal. Everybody understands a good beat. Everybody understands a hug and a smile. And one of the things that kind of let you in is when you share love, through good food and nutritious food and good cooking. So by nature, I come from a childhood of entertaining people, hosting people. You know, my mother would say, that plate needs to be picturesque. Like it needs to have a little red, a little green, a little this, a little that, you know, and nobody could come in without being served. So, you know, as I traveled, I learned things about different tastes, different wellness properties of herbs and what have you. And I decided to just do it, not as a business, but just to come back and just to use things to bring people spices, to say, try that. I wonder what this would taste like together. And 2012, that whole thing it flopped. The business, the group that I was working for, the foundation, it just went belly up. And I didn't know what to do, didn't want to go back inside, if you will, because it was like the coolest job on the planet. We, you know, traveled, we met people, we learned all kinds of new stuff. And it wasn't like work, right? So I had a little money left over. And it's when Michelle Obama started the food desert thing, her and USDA, and they started opening up all these markets and what have you. And I can remember saying to myself, nobody's going to buy this stuff. I didn't believe in it as a business. I didn't think people were going to buy it, but it was free to try, right? And, I was sort of like at home because I was at Chops, which was downtown Ronald Reagan. So it's like all the international people, all the, Department of Commerce. So I knew I would be able to fit in and greet people and meet people and what have you. And I went out there with my little craft paper bags, my little signs, my little put this together, put that together. And every time somebody bought something, I would just like get geeked. That was just, I couldn't believe it. Right. And then the other thing was, being nimble, faking it till you make it. People would come in because they were from an international market. And they would say, do you have any sumac? And I would say, not today. Never heard of it. Okay. Never. I mean, there was so many things that I learned on the fly. Definitely was building the plane as I was flying it. But, if you don't know, in these days, if you don't know, you don't need to know, because information is everywhere. I would go home. I would look up things, sumac, za'atar, look up all these things, look up recipes for them and what have you, and come back the next week and have it. So that was the genesis of the Spice and Tea Company. And then the other thing was something that my mother used to tell me and gave me a book, which was called Ready, Fire, Aim. And so I didn't have the aim perfectly, but I knew I had the confidence to shoot my shot, right? I had to get out there and shoot my shot. And then what happens is that your market is going to give you the aim. The people are going to help you aim. When you get out there and you shoot, they're going to say, do you have any hot sauce? They're going to say, do you have any? And in fact, I have now, which probably is my number one seller, neck and neck with teas, are my hot sauces. And I started making them only because everybody started asking for them, and I wanted to sell stuff.
Where are you based?
I do not have a bricks and mortar. I'm e-commerce. Oh, okay. We were downtown Baltimore at the Lexington Market, but our products are in stores around DC. So we have products on the shelf. We've graduated from farmers market to consumer-based goods, to making goods, white labeling for other people. But we are at Marionberry Market. Good Food Market is gone, and we are at Fresh Food Factory. So we have our.
And what's it? And the name of? So if I were to go into a store, I'm looking for the name Plum Good.
Plum.
Okay, and this is
Good.
Spices and teas
and sauces. So we make things that make delicious easy. Yes, you'll see. Plum Good sauces, Plum Good teas, and Plum Good spices. Yes.
Awesome. And so you're coming out with a cookbook and you're doing something a little different with it. So a cookbook anthology. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, the anthology piece is getting anecdotes, getting stories, getting input from people around the world. So because my thing is travel, people, what have you, I came up with the title is A Recipe for Love. And it's love coming from a whole lot of places. It's all the things, or many of the things, because I don't know all of them maybe, but it's many of the things that love is. So I've asked people, okay, the romantic love, the first thing we think about, right? If you're fixing that meal for someone special, if you're fixing that meal for a graduate, if you're fixing that meal because the family was bruised in some kind of way, maybe there was a death or a separation, and then you've come back together. But when you feel love, when you want to demonstrate love, when you want to share love, like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And hey, what does that taste like? When we were sick and not feeling well, my mother used to make chicken and dumplings, child. And that was like, ooh, that was love, right? Friends may be coming back from school and, you fix, Okay, Baltimore, you fix some crab cakes. That's love, right? I know that's right. So what's the story behind it? What's the feel behind it? What was love? What was the reaction? What was the conversation? What was the recipe? So it's an anthology of, it's a collection of recipes from people, people you may know, names you may know, and people whose names you may not know. But you will get to know who they are, the heart of them, the feel of them, and what love is to them.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And you had my heart when you said Lexington Market and crab cakes. You did. You did.
I know, Feliz, right? I know.
Yeah, listen,
yes.
We're not gonna bring it up. You know how it go. We lose it when we start talking about the crab cake.
Go on.
No, go ahead. You were about to say.
No, I just was going to say I have childhood memories of Lexington Market. I lived, I keep getting older, I'm gonna have to stop saying that, but a little bit more than half of my life in Oakland. But I've been here now for like 18 years. DC is here for 18 years. But I was born in Maryland, so I'm full circle, Eastern Shore, Maryland. My parents moved to Baltimore when I was a kid, and the Orioles were all that and a bowl of grits. My dad used to take us down to Lexington Market. He would go get his peanuts and, okay, wait for it, hog head cheese.
Yep.
and crackers. And then we would go over and watch live the baseball game. But he watched it live. He had to have his little transistor radio. So when they reopened and redid the market and we're looking for vendors, I was like, you know what? Gotta do it. So yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, Angela, how can we stay in touch? You said we can order online. Tell us where we can go and how we can stay connected with you.
Well, I want you to go to Taste Plum Good. And that's a call to action. Okay. Taste Plum Good. And it's also, a colloquialism. It's slang, down south. And I guess Maryland is as south as I've lived in. But, if something was plum good, it was good. It was slamming. Okay. It was real good. That is plum good. So yeah,
yes,
Taste
ma'am.
Plum Good. And then we're on Instagram also at Taste Plum Good. So
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us. We're excited for what you have coming out. Everybody go to tasteplumgood.com or at tasteplumgood on social media. And thank you so much for joining us, Angela.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Love
you.
your work. Love what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. And another one. All right.
And another one.
There we are. Next week. Actually, I haven't seen your message about next week.
Uh-oh. Whenever you do, I'm like, wait a minute now.
Okay, we are this is so crazy. Okay, we are at tomorrow will be 15 days, so we're halfway through.
Yes.
And then next week, we'll just huddle up about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll huddle up about it.
We'll huddle up and then we'll come back.
We'll circle back. We'll push it to the top of the inbox. Thank y'all so much for watching us. Go to bit.ly/BGV links and make sure you donate and participate. We need your donations to keep BGV running. Also keep shows like this going and just to keep creating impact. We also have a summit, Futures We Build Summit. Okay, go check that out. If you go to bit.ly/, I'm saying, I don't know if this is a / or a / these days, but / BGV links. If you go there, if you go to our Instagram, if you watch it on Instagram, you just hit the link in the bio, you'll also find it. But it'll give you all the things we got coming up. We got pitch competitions coming up. We got opportunities for you to get in on things, for you to get capital, for you to like resources, programs, and come to the Futures We Build Summit. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. This is the 30-day show, the BGV edition. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. All right, bye.
See you later.